Good morning, guys. I'm sorry that I'm not with you today. I'm going to try to work through focus question B in your notebook. So you guys need your periodic table and from your reference tables, and then your notebook, and we're going to be doing this next page, focus question B, how do we determine which element an atom is? Okay. So if you have those two things in front of you. So first off, we've talked about the particles that are inside an atom, and so those are basically going to be what are important to determining what an atom is. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the atomic number. So the atomic number is the number on the periodic table that they're ordered by, and that represents its identity, and it represents the number of protons. So if you look at your reference table, and we'll just use the big C that's at the center. So you can see, according to the key, that the number 6 is its atomic number. So no other element is the number 6. So only carbon is atomic number 6, and that atomic number corresponds to how many protons there are. So there's 6 protons in a carbon atom. And you can see that none of the other then have 6 protons. So the number of protons, the atomic number, is what determines the identity of an element. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and if you look at your notes, so we have the elements across the top, and then we're going to do the symbol, the atomic number, and then the number of protons. So if we look up chlorine, chlorine's symbol is capital C and lowercase l. Remember, it's always going to be either one capital or a capital and a lowercase. If you look up chlorine on the reference table, chlorine is number 17, so that's its atomic number. So that tells us that we have 17 protons. And remember, protons are in the nucleus. So there's 17 protons in the nucleus. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and look up nitrogen. Nitrogen, capital N, so that one's just one capital. Nitrogen is number 7 on the reference table. And so then it has 7 protons. Okay, so atomic number and number of protons are going to be the same. Okay, and remember, protons are in the nucleus. Okay. And remember that protons and neutrons are the ones that have all of the mass. So there's going to be massive stuff there. All right, so go ahead and try for me silver and potassium. Go ahead and look up and see what its symbol is, what its atomic number is, and then how many protons it has. And remember that if you're having trouble figuring out by its name, like what symbol silver is, remember that the 2 pages after the periodic table in your reference table, those 2 pages after that have all of the elements listed with their name and their atomic number and stuff. So you can go there to look. So if you look, silver is capital A, lowercase g. Silver is number 47, so it has 47 protons. And potassium is capital letter K, which is number 19, so it has 19 protons. Okay. All right, so atomic number is always, always, always the number of protons. Always. Okay. Now, when we're talking about atoms, atoms are neutral, meaning that the number of protons is equal to the number of electrons when it's neutral, or the amount of positive is equal to the amount of negative. So, for example, if I have copper, copper is Cu. Copper is number 29 on the table. So we know atomic number is the same as number of protons. So copper would have 29 protons. Since it's neutral, protons and electrons are going to be equal to each other. So it also has 29 electrons. So if I have 29 positives and I have 29 negatives, then my charge is going to be just neutral. Okay. It's going to be 0. All right, oxygen, capital letter O. Oxygen is number 8 on the table. So that tells us that we have 8 protons. Because it's a neutral atom, the positives have to be equal to the negatives. So that means we have 8 electrons for a net charge of 0. iron. Iron's one of those strange ones that doesn't have letters that match what it is. So iron is Fe, ferrous, ferric, things like that. So iron is number 26. So if its atomic number is 26, that tells us 26 protons. If it's a neutral atom, then the positive protons have to be equal in charge to the negative electrons. So 26 electrons for a net charge of 0. Now remember, we're just talking about the number of protons is equal to the number of electrons. Remember, the mass of an electron is much, 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 much smaller. Remember, that was a little teeny tiny pile when we did the lab. But as far as the charges, the charge of the positive and the charge of the negative have to be equal to be neutral. Right? And then our last one, calcium, capital C, lowercase a. Calcium is number 20 on the table. Its atomic number is 20, so that tells us 20 protons. And if it's neutral, then it has to have 20 electrons for a net charge of 0. Okay. All right, so make sure that you guys have those notes copied, and then I'm going to post a quizzes for you guys to work on. And I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Thanks, bye.